Copshop is the latest film. It is a crime thriller action movie by Joe Carnahan, starring Frank Grillo, Gerard Butler, Alexis Louder, and Toby Huss. So this movie was a nice surprise. It's basically a sort of throwback to 70s tough guy crime thriller movies, from the opening titles and the design with the little targets inside the letters. It has a lot of stylistic choices that let you know what you're in for, and I really like that, because this is the type of movie that could be easily filmed with James Coburn or Lee Marvin or Pam Grier. So the movie starts with Teddy Moretto. He is a con man, sort of fast-talking fixer, and he is being chased by a hitman, Bob Vidic. So the only way to escape is to go to a casino and jump into a fight and attack a police officer to get arrested, and he can stay in prison safe, or jail safe, for the meantime. However, Bob is a professional and fakes being drunk and rams his car at two state troopers in order to also be put into the lockup so that he can kill Teddy. And so we get a sort of psychological game of cat and mouse, because both of them are locked up and trying to get at each other. And meanwhile, there's a police officer named Valerie Young, who's bored, a hotshot cop who wants to get involved and wants the down low. And as sort of things start to build up and slow down, we get the introduction of a second hitman by the name of Tony Lamb, who's like a psychopath, a really unhinged sort of like loose killer who gets thrown into the mix. So the movie has some pretty interesting pacing, because it starts off really fast-paced. We got a couple flashbacks to flesh out the story, and when things start to slow down, they introduce another killer, and it becomes a sort of shootout inside of a police station. I really like the camera work in this movie. The camera work's really great, because the first half of this movie is all talking, but the camera work sort of sweeps in and out, and it sort of gives you a nice tour of the entire building. So like the entire police station feels like a character in itself, because we're going to be moving throughout the different rooms and things like that. It's a rather large place. And it's like sort of contained thriller, character-driven to begin. I think Frank Grillo was complaining on Twitter because they edited down his performance, and I agree. He's very quiet throughout the movie, and they must have they did him dirty. But Gerard Butler does a really good job. All of the actors do a really good job. They have really peppy dialogue, and I really like the tone. It's a very dark tone of the movie. It sort of sets it up early on that anyone can get killed in this movie, and it's violent, and it's fast-paced, it's funny, it's dark, it's thrilling, and it'll leave you breathless by the end. I felt that the only flaw that the movie had was a little bit too actiony at the end, because the movie's sort of going for this sort of Western vibe, the opening shot in the desert and the sort of slow build-up, But then it turns into like a full-on explosion-filled action movie at the end, which kind of like clashes in tone. But overall, it wasn't a big deal. Copshop was a nice surprise. It had really good acting, nice characters, memorable. Definitely enjoyable, and I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.